How do you grow followers when first starting out? How often do you create content? Do you ever fear what people think of you, and how do you deal with judgment? A lot of questions asking how I edit my pictures. Do you plan to transition from your day job to full-time content creator? Do you have any tips on growing a social media account? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I know it's been a little bit since I posted, but I finally got a camera, so I definitely have a lot more plans to post more on this channel. So definitely subscribe if you are not already. Let me know what you want to see from me specifically down in the comments. For today's video, I thought I would just do a little everyday makeup routine slash Q&A. So I answered a lot of questions about content creation, how to get started, how to grow a following, stuff like that. So if you're interested in seeing that, definitely keep watching. Make sure you subscribe and let's get into it. So usually for an everyday type of makeup, I will use either skin tint or tinted moisturizer. I really like Ilia skin tint and the Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer, which I'm going to use right now. Just for an everyday type of look, I like something that's like a little more on the lighter side. And for this, I just use my hands. I feel like with a tinted moisturizer or skin tint or something, it looks more natural when I use my hands. I don't know if that's just like me or if that's like a real thing, but so first question I will do is, have you always been into fashion? I would say yes, for the most part. I've always really liked clothes, and like I remember being in middle school and just being obsessed with what I wore. Like I would pick out my outfit the night before and like just be so into like what I was wearing to school. So yeah, I would say yes, I've always been into it. Someone asked, how do you grow followers when first starting out? So I think my biggest tip for this when you're starting out, or if you're looking to create an account on Instagram based on a certain thing, like for me, I do like fashion stuff. So if it's that type of thing, I would suggest starting a new account and not going off of like the one that you have already. Because number one, a lot of the people that are following you on your normal Instagram account probably won't be interested in the specific thing that you're posting. So I think starting a new account and gaining followers that are interested in following you because of what you're posting is important, because they're going to be more willing to engage. And also, I'm not sure if this is a fact, but I'm pretty sure Instagram like pushes out new accounts to other similar accounts. Like if you ever look on Instagram, there's like a suggested people to follow. It's all going to be like new accounts. So I'm pretty sure Instagram will like push out newer accounts, like basically promote those to other accounts. So I feel like it makes sense to start a new one, because like when I first started, I started on a new account and I think I gained like 2,000 followers within the first month, just because I was like consistently engaging with other accounts that were similar to mine, and it was a lot easier to grow off of a new account than I think it would have been if I had used my existing Instagram account. I hope that made sense. For concealer, I'm using the Ilia Skin Serum Concealer, I think it's called. True Skin Serum Concealer. I really like this concealer. I feel like it blends really nice. And yeah, the only thing about this is I use the lightest shade. Like I just feel like their shade range isn't really great. I use the lightest shade, and I don't think I'm like that pale. Maybe I am, but I don't typically use the lightest shade in any other brand of concealer. So whatever, that's the only thing I have to say, but I do really love the concealer. So I just put it where you normally put concealer. I don't really use a lot of it. I feel like I don't really need it, especially when I'm doing like just everyday normal light coverage. And usually for my concealer, I'll blend it out with my fingers also, and then I'll go over it with a beauty blender to like make sure it's really blended. This question says, what made you want to start creating content? Well, it was really a combination of things. I think like the biggest thing was I started working at a corporate job after I graduated college, and it didn't really require a lot of creativity. It didn't really require any at all. and I am a super creative person, and I always kind of thought like when I graduated college and I would be working in a job like in a more creative way, like I would have more of a creative role. And it just didn't really end up being that way. My first job, which I still have right now, it's a great job, but it just isn't really what I was expecting to do after college, which I think is kind of the norm for a lot of people. You sort of just like fall into your first role, and yeah, that's sort of what happened to me. But anyway, I wasn't able to be creative at all, and I honestly, like, no one prepares you for post-grad. Like, I feel like your whole life, your identity is like you're a student, and like you're always focusing on, like, you always know what the next thing is, whether it's like moving to the next grade or graduating high school or graduating college. And then once you graduate college and you find a job, like, that was your goal for pretty much your entire life. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, now what? Like, what am I working towards? And that kind of hit me really hard, I think. Like, I really struggled with my identity. Like, I just like didn't really have anything to focus on that was just for myself. And I had always really liked fashion, like I said, so I wanted to give out content creation a try because I like loved following these certain accounts, and I was like, oh, I always felt like I would be really good at doing that. So I thought about doing it for a while, and I put it off forever because I was so afraid of like judgment from other people, because I think like when you put yourself out there like that, a lot of people judge you for it, and that was really scary for me. So I put it off for a long time, and eventually one day, it was actually almost 2 years ago to the day that I'm filming this. It was the 21st of January 2019. Yeah, January 21st 2019. I was finally like, I had the day off from work, and finally I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. And I went for it. And I think that's the biggest thing when you're looking to become a content creator or whatever it is like, you have to just go for it. I get this question a lot that's like, what's some advice? Like, how do I start? And like, my biggest thing for that is just start. Like, you have to just go for it and take it as it comes and figure it out along the way. The biggest thing is just starting. Like, you have to just start. Someone asked, how often do you create content? Usually, so right now, since it's winter, I usually create most of my content on the weekends. Like I said, I have a 9-to-5 job, so it's very hard to film or shoot stuff during the week because I do have to work. So a lot of it has to be done on the weekends because of like the sun setting at 4 o'clock, so you don't really have a lot of time after work. So I do have to do a lot of it on the weekends. And I shoot most of my content usually on Saturdays. I'll shoot for the whole week, so I'll do like 3 or 4 looks and get whatever content I need to post for the next week. And then in the summer it's a lot easier because I am able to shoot after work, so it's a lot less pressure in that sense because I have a lot more time to create content, and I'm not just stuck to that like 1 or 2 days during the weekends. For eyebrows, I'm using the Anastasia brow powder. I've been using this forever. I love this one. Okay, next question. Do you ever fear what people think of you, and how do you deal with judgment? Yes, all the time. I think like in this sort of industry, like social media, there's a lot of room for judgment, and you're kind of like putting your whole life out there. And I think with that comes a lot of judgment, and it's really scary sometimes, which is why I put off starting my account for so long. But at the end of the day, like, I always just tell myself, like, this is something that's enjoyable to me. Like, I love doing it. It makes me happy. So for the people that are judging me, like, they're not people that really matter to me in my life. Like, all of the people closest to me who are supporting me are the ones that really matter. They're the only people whose opinions that I really care about. So I kind of just have to put the opinions of other people out of my mind, because I know that other people have their opinions and everyone's entitled to their opinion, but to me, they just like don't really matter, because if somebody's judging me, it's not somebody that I like care to have in my life. So yeah, I'm using the Ilia bronzer. What is the best and worst thing about being an influencer? There's a lot of really great things. Just kind of like getting to be creative, having something that's completely my own to focus on. I've met so many people through Instagram. Like, I feel like I've built relationships with people over the internet, which is so cool. Like, people who are interested in the same things that I am, which I love about that. It's definitely a lot of people that I never would know if I hadn't been doing this. So yeah, that's a really great thing. Getting to work with some of my favorite brands is like the coolest thing ever to me. Yeah, I really enjoy that aspect of it. Like, brands that I've been shopping at for years. It's just the coolest thing, like getting to work with them. So yeah, those are probably the best things. The worst, I would say, just like the judgment from other people. It can be hard, obviously. But like I said, I just try not to think about it because it just doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I think that like the whole influencer thing, like there's just such a stigma behind it. Yeah, I don't know. I think that that's something that's really hard. And there was something that I saw on Instagram the other day. Someone posted on their stories, or it was just kind of like going around on people's stories that I saw, and it was like, if the influencer industry was a male dominant field, it would be seen as more of an entrepreneurship type of thing, but because it's dominated more by women, it's seen as like something that you need less intelligence for. And like, that statement is so true, and it's just like the most ridiculous thing, like this internalized misogyny of just like people judging influencers because they think that like because it's a woman dominated field that like it must be an easy thing to do. Like, it is literally not easy. Like, I know from the outside looking in, it seems like, oh, I just post pictures on Instagram, but there is so much that goes into it on the back end. Like, when I get off my computer at the end of the day from my 9 to 5, I get on my other personal computer and I'm doing brand outreach. I'm picking select, like I'm strategizing what content I want to create. There's so much that goes into it, like making sure I get paid by brands, stuff like that, knowing how to negotiate. The amount that I've learned and the way that I've grown as a person through being an influencer, like for people to say that it's not hard work, like it is. So I got a lot of questions asking how I edit my pictures. I get this question a lot. The reason that I've never really answered it is because I don't really edit my photos that much, and when I do, it's never the same edit for every photo. Like, there isn't one thing that I do specifically. Like, I don't use a preset or anything like that. Sorry, blush is this Tarte Amazonian Clay in the shade Seduce. I don't do the same thing to a photo, so it's hard to say like exactly how I edit. But if you guys are interested, maybe I can do a video of kind of like specific things that I do to achieve like my feed and the photos that I do. So let me know if that you'd be interested in that, because I definitely can talk through some of the things that I do and give like tips on how to achieve my editing. Okay, eyeshadow, I'm using this little Tarte palette that I've had forever, and I just am using this brown shade. That's usually what I use. Do you plan to transition from your day job to full-time content creator? Yes, the short answer is yes. I would absolutely love to do that. I love creating content. Like, I love doing this, and I would love to be able to do it full-time and make a living solely off of that. Do I have any like immediate plans? No, I think I am not at the place yet financially to do that, and having my 9 to 5 job just allows for a lot more financial freedom. And right now I am still living with my parents, so I'm not paying rent, and I am looking to move out pretty soon, so I definitely need that financial security right now. So no immediate plans, but that is the goal eventually, hopefully. Someone asked, decision that you took that you are the most proud that you took that decision in life. This is gonna sound insane, but starting my Instagram account, finally making that decision to do it, is something that I'm really proud of, because it was something that I was really afraid of doing for such a long time, and something that I had wanted to do for a long time, but I was really scared to do it. So I think just finally getting the courage to just do it is something that I'm really proud of, and doing it has really like like I said before, when I was working a corporate job, like didn't really know what my identity was. Like I was in a really bad place and kind of just felt sort of lost. And I think like this Instagram account and being a content creator and just sharing what I like with other people who like the same things, like it really helped me find myself again, which sounds crazy, but yeah, I don't know. I'm really proud that I was finally able to do it. And then just using the Urban Decay setting spray. I don't know if like this is a normal thing that people do, but I always put setting spray on before I do my mascara because I feel like if I don't, like it makes my mascara run, which is probably not true, but I don't know. And then for mascara, I am using the Thrive Cosmetics one. I love this one. I feel like it makes your lashes look really, really long, and I have pretty short lashes, so. Okay, let's do one more. Someone asked, do you have any tips on growing a social media account? I mean, I kind of touched on this, but I'll give just some like overall ones, I guess. So like I said, starting a new account I think really helped me, and then really just like engaging with your followers, following similar accounts to you, engaging with them, like building relationships with people, stuff like that, being consistent, like always making sure that you are being consistent with what you're posting, when you're posting, how often you're posting. I would say like the more you post, the better. I try to post every day, sometimes twice a day, and when I first started out, that was kind of what I was doing, which can be hard because that's a lot of content, but I think just being consistent is the most important thing. Using hashtags, tagging brands in your pictures, and yeah. And in terms of like working with brands, I would say definitely tag them in your photos, like I said, and then really just like reach out to them on Instagram. A lot of times you can find their like PR email on their website, or even just some sort of contact on their website, and you can email them and they'll put you in contact with their PR person or their PR team. Don't be afraid to reach out to brands because like you have to put yourself out there, and the worst they're gonna do is say no. So like, what's the big deal? If you have any like specific questions, you can definitely send me a DM on Instagram and I'll help you however I can. I feel like within this whole content creation influencer industry, like everything is so secretive, and like I don't think it should be that way. So I'm definitely willing to help. If you have any questions, if you're thinking of starting content creation or whatever, send me a DM and I can definitely help. And then I'm just using this Beauty Counter lip gloss. Yeah, I think that is everything. If I missed anything or if there's anything else you want to know, definitely comment down below. Send me a DM on Instagram. Make sure you're following me there. Make sure you subscribe. I definitely have a lot of plans to be posting more videos now that I have my camera, so let me know what you want to see from me specifically. I'll definitely do a video on how I edit my photos. And yeah, I think that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope I see you next time.